What's up everyone, I'm Gooshy, and in this video we're going to be going over the charm of Blazing Flame. This is one of the new charms you get in New Game Plus, and it states that Way of the Flame inflicts additional damage and heavy attacks spread fire to nearby enemies. So I'll be going over the build that I'm using it with, as well as how the charm works, and finally if it's worth using. So with that, let's get started. To start things off, if you don't know where to get this from, you can get this charm in New Game Plus from one of the first NPCs that you encounter, called Baku the Voiceless. Baku takes a unique type of currency, which is ghost flowers, which you can get from completing missions or clearing Mongol camps. The charm of Blazing Flame costs 25 ghost flowers, and with each mission giving you around 5 ghost flowers, after 5 missions you should have enough to get it. So the build that I'm testing this out with is my Firelord build. I already made a video going in depth into this build, so if you want to check it out, I'll link a card here and in the description below. But in this video I'll go over it really quickly. So this build focuses on using fire damage, and then using that fire damage to proc Terrify on enemies, making them flee away from fights. So we'll be using the Ghost Armor, the Charm of Ikazuchi no Kami, 2 Fire Doctrines, and 2 Charms of Fortunes to boost that. So I've been trying to get this to work with another build that hasn't been viable on lethal difficulty yet, and this is the Burning Beyblade. Here we just use the Moon Stance and then spin to win. And as you can see, it kind of works pretty well, but the fire isn't spreading to nearby enemies. But however, if I use the Stone Stance, in this example I'll gather everyone up in one area and then just use the normal heavy attack, we can now see that it spreads to other enemies. Another thing to note is that fire spreads to enemies with each sword swing that lands. You can see with the first hit, the 2 blue Mongols catch on fire, and then on the second hit, the 2 Ronins catch on fire. So what this means is that the more hits you get in, the more enemies that you'll set on fire. So I think the best stance to use this with is water, because the Surging Strike attack is the fastest attack you can use. In this example, you'll see one downside of the charm of Blazing Flame, and that is that enemies do have to be pretty close to the enemy that you are attacking for it to spread. However, if they are close together, it's really easy to spread the fire to other enemies, or even better, terrify them so that they just run away from the fight. And because enemies are being set on fire and terrified at different points in time, this gives the opportunity to chain terrify enemies, as once an enemy dies, other enemies can be terrified as well. And some more downsides for this build, I found myself dying a lot while just casting Wave of the Flame. So just make sure that you're clear of any enemies before triggering Wave of the Flame and queuing up for your attack. Another downside is that you are limited to how much incendiary oil you have, so either stock up from the trapper or restock from Mongol camps. Overall, I think that the charm of Blazing Flame is pretty good, mostly because it could spread fire to multiple enemies in a quick amount of time. With that, that's everything you need to know about the charm of Blazing Flame. If you guys are using it in New Game Plus, let me know in the comment section down below if you're liking it and what build you're using it with. As always, thank you guys for watching, hope to catch you next one, and GG.